So we continue to be learning a lot about, like insider information from the Trump administration during their, I guess, fight with COVID or how they dealt with COVID, which of course we all know how that ended up. Um, Now, according to a book about this time that was posted by the Washington Post and then, of course, reviewed by different media outlets, um, apparently an excerpt from that claims that former President Trump had openly joked about COVID killing John Bolton. So now this book is Nightmare Scenario. And according to the excerpt from it, Trump had tried to joke about the virus for months, sometimes even mocking people who had become ill. Ah, yes, the epitome of hilarity right there. Making fun of people who got the virus that ended up killing 600,000 American citizens. What a great guy. What a wonderful person. Gee, so Christian of him too. What a guy to look up to. Disgusting human being, mocking people. Many of his own voters, by the way. A lot of people who died are people who followed his advice. They got sick because they didn't wear masks. They didn't do the social distancing, didn't believe in it. They didn't take the virus seriously because Trump didn't take the virus seriously, and Trump ended up getting it, as well as John Bolton. Now, basically, he is mocking you. And that's what it is. He's mocking you. And now, by the way, if you have a pre-existing condition as a result of COVID, the former president is literally laughing at you because he thinks you're weak or you're stupid and you don't have the great genes like he does. Terrible person. Now, the anecdote chronicled by Axios from the book says that months before the Trump had contracted COVID himself, he was in a meeting where National Economic Council Director Larry Kudlow had stifled a cough. So, at that time, anybody who coughs in the room, immediately sus. Like, get this guy out of here. He's got the Rona. He's got the Rona. Oh dear God. So now, Trump apparently waved his hands in front of his face as to jokingly ward off any flying virus particles, then cracked a smile, saying, "I was just kidding. Larry will never get COVID. He will defeat it with his optimism. John Bolton. Hopefully COVID takes out John." Did Kudlow ever get coronavirus? I have no idea. I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna do some live research during the show. Did Larry Kudlow get COVID? Wow, did Larry Kudlow die? What are my Google results right here? Jesus Christ. Get COVID. I don't know. Yes, he did. He did get COVID. Oh my God, he did. Larry will never get COVID. His optimism. They all got COVID, and most likely it's because of Donald Trump, who spread COVID all over the place. Petri dish. Total petri dish. My God. But anyway, sources for the writers of this book told them that they believed that Trump was being serious when he wished death upon Bolton. When reached for comment, Bolton told Axios, quote, "Fooled me. I thought he was relying on his lawyers." Now, putting aside the fact that John Bolton is a terrible human being, as well as a coward, okay, I don't really think wishing death on people is a nice thing to do. I don't know. Maybe it's just, I don't know. And don't get me wrong, if Donald Trump or any of these ghouls died from COVID, I wouldn't shed a tear. Wouldn't have cried for him. Wouldn't have cried for John Bolton. John Bolton never cried for the million people in Iraq that died as a result of that war. But that said, I never wished death on them either. And I sort of think that might be the difference. Now, I understand some of you might see this and might disagree, be like, oh no, yeah, fuck those guys. Totally. I know. It just means I'm too much of a bleeding heart. But I'll take it. I'm fine with that. I've always been a really empathetic person. I think that, having empathy for people is better than being someone like Donald Trump. Or again, with Bolton and the million Iraqis that were dead. Many of them innocent civilians. And then you had Trump with the continuation of the wars, the Bush War, Obama War, all that stuff. But Trump was dropping Moabs, as well as, of course, bungling coronavirus with no concern about the American people or anyone else. They have no humanity. And that's it. They have no humanity. They don't care about people. Don't care at all. They don't think life is precious, especially if it exists outside of the borders of the United States, much less in it. I mean, if we actually really did care about life, then we'd make sure that 56,000 people a day didn't die without health insurance. Or is it a year? It's a lot of people. I always get confused with that statistic because, I look at it and no matter how you look at it, it is an unacceptably high number because we put insurance company profits over human beings' lives. That's horrifying. But again, I do think that we need to try to retain our humanity and empathy because they don't have any of it. Because the world needs good people, especially in positions of power. And then, of course, we need those people more than we need the Trumps and Boltons of the world, especially when it comes to the positions of power. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.